Which of the following are not correct regarding design of beams with openings? A diameter of circular opening should be restricted to 0.5 d. B. For rectangular stiffened openings, depth should be less than 0.7 d and length less 2 d. C. For rectangular unstiffened openings, depth should be less than 0.5 d and length less than 1.5 d. D. Point load should be applied within a distance d from adjacent opening. The correct answer is point load should be applied within a distance d from adjacent opening. What is ponding? A. Excessive deflection of flat roof resulting in accumulation of rainwater. B. Excessive deflection of flat roof not resulting in accumulation of rainwater. C. Small deflection of flat roof resulting in accumulation of rainwater. D. Small deflection of flat roof not resulting in accumulation of rainwater. The correct answer is excessive deflection of flat roof resulting in accumulation of rainwater. What is the maximum lateral deflection of column frame in industrial buildings subjected to crane load plus wind load and for brittle cladding? A. Height 300. B. Height 250. C. Height 400. D. Height 500. The correct answer is height 400. What is the maximum lateral deflection in other buildings other than industrial buildings subjected to wind load and for brittle cladding? A. Height 300. B. Height 250. C. Height 100. D. Height 500. The correct answer is height 500. Holes in beam webs should be placed at and in flanges it should be placed at A. High shear high bending moment. B. High bending moment high shear. C. Low bending moment low shear. D. Low shear low bending moment. The correct answer is low shear low bending moment. A hole in flange of beam causes A. Increase in stress. B. Decrease in stress. C. Makes the stress to half. D. Does not affect the stress. The correct answer is increase in stress. Beam deflection is not a function of A. Loading. B. Span. C. Length of column. D. Geometry of cross section. The correct answer is span. The strength of the beams with openings may be governed by plastic deformations due to A. Moment only. B. Shear only. C. Both moment and shear. D. Does not depend on moment or shear. The correct answer is both moment and shear. Which of the following may not occur due to excessive deflection? A. Ponding problem in roofs. B. Misalignment of supporting machinery. C. Cracking of plaster ceilings. D. Twisting of beam. The correct answer is twisting of beam. Deflection can be reduced by A. Proving less restraints. B. Increasing span. C. Increasing depth of beam. D. Decreasing depth of beam. The correct answer is increasing depth of beam. What is the maximum vertical deflection for a cantilever member in other buildings other than industrial buildings subjected to live load and elements not susceptible to cracking? A. Span 150. B. Span 180. C. Span 300. D. Span 100. The correct answer is span 150. What is the maximum vertical deflection in industrial building for purlins and girts subjected to live load wind load for elastic cladding? A. Span 150. B. Span 180. C. Span 250. D. Span 100. The correct answer is span 150. What is the maximum vertical deflection in other buildings other than industrial buildings for floor subjected to live load and elements not susceptible to cracking? A. Span 150. B. Span 180. C. Span 300. D. Span 100. The correct answer is span 300. What is the maximum vertical deflection in other buildings other than industrial buildings for floor subjected to live load and elements susceptible to cracking? A. Span 150. B. Span 360. C. Span 300. D. Span 100. The correct answer is span 360. The strength of steel beam depends on A. Strength of tension flange. B. Strength of compression flange. C. Strength of web. D. Does not depend on strength of section. The correct answer is strength of compression flange. Which of the following are correct regarding design of beams with openings? A. Web opening should be away from support by twice the beam depth. B. Hole should be eccentrically placed in web. C. Hole should not be placed within middle 1/3 of the span. D. Clear spacing between openings should be less than beam depth. The correct answer is web opening should be away from support by twice the beam depth.